It was a dark and stormy night as Emma sat alone in her apartment, surrounded by the silence that seemed to echo louder than any sound. She had always struggled with her mental health, battling anxiety and depression for most of her life. But tonight, something felt different. The shadows seemed to dance mockingly around her, whispering secrets she couldn't quite grasp. As the clock struck midnight, a sudden chill swept through the room, causing Emma to shiver involuntarily. She tried to shake off the feeling of unease that crept up her spine, but it clung to her like a suffocating cloak. Just then, a knock at the door shattered the eerie stillness of the night. Emma's heart raced as she hesitantly made her way to the door, her hand trembling as she reached for the doorknob. Through the peephole, she saw a figure cloaked in darkness, their features obscured by the shadows. With a deep breath, Emma mustered up the courage to open up the door, only to find no one there. Confusion and fear gnawed at her as she stepped out in the hallway, searching for any sign of the mysterious visitor. That's when she heard it. A soft, haunting melody drifting through the air, sending chills down her spine. It was a tune she couldn't quite place, yet it felt strangely familiar, like a long-forgotten memory bubbling to the surface. As she followed the ghostly music down the hallway, it led her to a door she had never noticed before. The panel was icy cold to the touch as she turned it slowly, revealing a room bathed in ethereal light. Inside, a figure stood with their back to her, their movements fluid and graceful as they swayed to the haunting melody. Emma's heart pounded in her chest as she called out, her voice barely more than a whisper. The figure turned slowly, revealing a face that mirrored her own, yet twisted and distorted in ways that sent a chill down her spine. Their eyes gleamed with a malevolent light as they beckoned her forward, their outstretched hand a silent invitation. Emma's mind raced with 1,000 questions, her sanity hanging by a thread as she stepped closer to the doppelganger before her. Without a word, the figure reached out and touched her forehead, sending a surge of electricity through her body. Suddenly, memories flooded Emma's mind, memories of a past she had long buried deep within her subconscious. She saw glimpses of childhood marked by trauma and loss, pain and suffering she kept locked away for so long. Tears welled in her eyes as she realized the truth. The figure before her was the embodiment of her own inner demons, the manifestation of her psychological issues come to life. And as she stared into the hollow eyes of her doppelganger, she knew that she had to confront her past in order to vanquish this twisted reflection of herself. With a newfound resolve, Emma embraced the darkness within her, accepting it as a part of who she was. And as she did, the figure before her began to fade, its malicious grin turning into a sad, almost wistful smile. The room around her dissolved into darkness, leaving Emma standing alone in her apartment once more. But this time, the shadows no longer held any power over her. She faced her fears head on and emerged stronger for it, ready to confront whatever challenges lay ahead. As the first light of dawn crept through the window, Emma felt a sense of peace wash over her, knowing that she had conquered the darkest parts of herself and emerged victorious. And as she watched the sunrise, a newfound sense of peace and, dare I say, happiness seemed to wash over her.